I can't even. It's not like I'm keeping this discovery a secret. People tell me.
How many Instagram followers you have?
500 and over 500,000.
Yeah, it's not a secret. Let's see how much it is after today, too.
Well, I appreciate you doing this because this gives us an ability to get the word out.
Yes.
And it's important to get the word out to get the other things to fall in place.
Yeah, I think it's important, too.
And I appreciate the fact that you enjoy the shit out of this prehistory stuff, dude.
I do. I love it, and I also love the way you're handling it. I think we're very fortunate that a guy like you owns that piece, where you're willing to talk about it publicly and make a stink about it and let everybody know. Like, there's a real part of the puzzle in the history of this earth that's right there.
It's not that complicated a puzzle. The puzzling part is, what the fuck is AM&H doing? They've had those bones in their basement for 100 fucking years. They were required in the original deal to do a report on every bone they took, and they were only supposed to take bones of scientific value. This bone has no scientific value to them. They took it. This bone has no scientific value to them. They took it. None of the bones they took have scientific value, primarily because they don't know where they found them. I have all that information in my files. I have all the stratigraphic information of everything they found. Don't you guys think you ought to weld it to me?
Yeah.
And we'll say, well, this bone came out of 35 feet on Woodchopper Creek, Goldstream Creek, Miller Creek, whatever creek it came off.
So you could be able to find the exact locations and where it was dug.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. In a best case scenario, what would happen? They would give you the bones back, and then what would you do?
The experts would come in. After I built a facility where they study them, I understand they're not going to we have a lab in San Francisco. We're going to send the bones to San Francisco. We'll have a lab here. I'll build the motherfucker. I've already offered this up to them, and they still don't jump on the chance. How many dumb shits are around like me?
Maybe you have to build it first, and they will come like the fucking Field of Dreams.
Yeah, that was a movie. By the way, I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
But I've learned my lesson on if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Because we just built one. They didn't show up. So we use it for our own purposes.
Well, maybe we could put the bat signal out here on this show, and there's got to be some paleontologists that are absolutely fascinated by this, that are willing to figure out a way to make it work.
Because they just can't take the bones out of Alaska.
Right.
And they got to be like no bullshit researchers, scientists, people that know what they're talking about, because I don't.
They're going to want it for museums, huh?
They can't have it.
Right, but that's probably what's going to, like, if they do find some extraordinary stuff, the way they get value out of it is by putting it on display. Doing studies on it and then putting it on display so people can come pay money to see it, right?
If I go to AM&H, let's say once a week for 52 weeks, it's the same displays every week. So all the stuff they collect doesn't go on display. It goes down in the storage, or it goes out in the East River. The deal with my company, the nozzlemen, they called them, there were 200 guys working giants. And the giant guys, the nozzle guys, part of the perks of working for that company was if you find a tusk, you can have it. They could take the tusks home with them.
Really?
Yeah, and the skulls and whatever else they found.
No one cared back then?
Nobody cared. The company didn't care. Take them. And then these guys from New York, the swift-talking city dudes, they come in and go, oh, we want them. So they made it so the men couldn't take them, and they took them all. Scientific value, nothing. They took them all. Well, let's just imagine you're the grandson of one of the old-style nozzlemen who's now dead, but he passed that tusk along to his kid, and now it's yours. That tusk could be worth $200,000. That could come in handy to that family. Maybe they could have used that money along the way instead of not having it.
Instead of the AM&H just having it in their basement.
And the letter that is on there talks about hundreds of tusks that were shipped there. I've seen them. It's not like I'm making this shit up. I was down there. I took pictures of them.
You were down there in the basement?
In the basement. It's incredible. These big crates haven't been opened ever.
And they're just filled with tusks.
Well, the tusks are on these big shelves, like you see at Costco. They go way up high.
Yeah. Just shelves of
Shelves
tusks.
and bison heads and
Wow.
stuff. And then the crates are the bones, leg bones, teeth.
How the fuck can they just leave that there?
It's in storage.
But that seems so insane. That you have this extraordinary place that really doesn't get attention until you get on social media. And then the world knows about it. But they've known about it for 100 years. Like, that seems like something you would want people to know about.
Nobody gave a shit. My company didn't care until, they didn't envision a guy like me coming along and owning this company. They had no. When I bought the company, I started going through the files, going, let's see what I bought. Let's see what. Oh, look at that! I got a lease with the government. Oh, here's another one. I got another lease with the government. Yeah, I got a piece over here. A guy offered to buy. Now I don't want to sell it. So I go through all these things, and I find the deal with the bones. And I went to the museum. I said, I bought Alaska Gold Company. I want to go get the bones. He goes, I was wondering when you're going to show up. Off to New York we go. Got bullshitted. Oh, yeah, we're going to return them after we take care of the asbestos abatement problem up down there. Anyway, I told you all this. And they have yet to get a hold of us. It's gone to our state legislature to see if they can help. It's coming back to Alaska. Those are my bones. And if they're afraid that it's going to go, well, Reeves, they're worth a lot of money, he could sell them. Look, just send them back.
Also,
and if I want to sell them, I'll sell them. They're my bones.
Also, you haven't sold what you have. Like,
No.
It doesn't even make any sense.
It's a fucking hobby. We're all queer for something. Some people collect stamps. Some people collect coins. My mom used to collect napkins, or quilts and stuff like that. I collect bones and historic sites. I like I got a degree in history. You probably didn't know that. Historic preservation. I like to fix up old shit. Talking to a guy about the Nana, where the Golden Spike was driven by Harding. That just went up for auctions on Christie's.
What is that? Explain that.
A Golden Spike, railroad spike, that Warren Harding came up and drove in the railroad back in the 20s when they completed the Alaska Railroad from Anchorage up to Nenana.
How do they keep someone from stealing that?
Well, they didn't leave it in there long.
Oh.
They drove it in. They took the photo op. They did all that.
Then pulled it out.
Pulled it out, and somebody bought it, and somebody else bought it.
Whoa.
There you
Look
go.
at that. That's crazy.
So-
Wow.
So I did some figuring on the weight of it and figured how much gold content was in it.
$200,000.
Yep.
Wow.
It
The museum-
was only valued at like 30 to 50.
But just the historical significance of it makes it
Yeah.
worth 200 grand?
Yeah.